just like everybody here in the world of college basketball, we're excited. We're ready to go. We're looking forward to putting on the uniforms, and I'm not sure it's normalcy, but getting back to some type of basketball normalcy for our players, and we're working really hard to get to that point, and we're not going to take this for granted, and really appreciate the opportunity to get back to playing. And first and foremost for me, I just want to publicly thank and appreciate our doctors, VCU Health, our administration led by Ed McLaughlin, and of course our trainers who have done a great job helping our guys navigate all this craziness in pursuing a basketball season. So first and foremost, I just want to thank everybody for doing their part in leading us to this point. Our players and our coaching staff greatly appreciate it. And talking about the season, we circled some dates on our calendar as a team. Just, hey, these are the dates we want to push forward to, control what we control, take care of the stuff in front of us, so we can get to these dates. And we're a couple days away, but we're getting closer and closer to being able to show you this season's team, put on uniforms and go to work, and we're all excited to do so.
All right. First question is coming from Lane Casadante.
Hey, Coach. Good morning. How have your guys been handling all your COVID protocols? Have you had to pause anywhere? Have you had any interruptions in getting ready for the season? And do you expect to be full staffed when you hit the court later this week?
As of right now, yes. I will tell you this. I've been so proud of our players and their approach and their discipline since we got back here in June. We had one disruption in July with one person in our program, and then we just we've been. I think the guys have done a great job of just sticking to the plan and the protocol, and it's changed a bunch. But I've been really, really proud of them, and I think our administration and our doctors and our trainers just they just gave it to us the right way, and when there are any changes, they explained it to us, and we fall through with it. And I think a lot that helped with us, that our players, we have this awesome BDC here where our guys can spend time in here. It's not a real bubble, but it's close to somewhat of a bubble, and I think that has helped us without a doubt, Lane. And it's changing. The numbers are surging. The only thing that we can do is control our day and make great decisions and keep talking to our guys about doing everything the right way. And you pray and you hope and that we're all doing it the right way. But we're ready to play because we're doing it the right way. We just got to make sure we stick to it.
With the youth that you have this year, and not having an exhibition and not having a scrimmage, a closed scrimmage or anything like that, what will you look for outside of scoring more points than Charlotte? What will you be looking for, not just in this first game, but in this first group of games, to let you know that everything your guys did in the offseason is pointing them in the right direction?
Just carrying over, how we've practiced, how we've prepared, following through with your roles individually, things that we want to do as a group early in the season, just the carryover part more than anything. But there's going to be some things that you see on Thursday that might be the first time I see it too. I mean, it's sort of, we're all throughout the whole country. You practice to play a certain way, but then the other team is going to impact that, and how we respond to some adversity with a young team is very important to me. The next play mentality is going to be very important to me, and our overall approach to, all right, the first 3 minutes might have gone our way, but the last 3 minutes didn't. All right, how are we going to respond to it and go from there? And then just the approach of our team, finding a way. Let's just find a way. That's what we've talked about. Find a way to get through this preseason with the pandemic. Finding a way to get through some of this craziness and social injustice and all that stuff, the climate. How do we get through a preseason when there's some things out of our control? All that stuff. Let's just continue to together fight through stuff, make good decisions, be disciplined. It's same thing when we throw the ball up on Thursday. We got a 40-minute game. Let's continue to stick together and fight through things and get through things. And a lot of teams are going to be experiencing different things for the first time, and we're one of them.
Wayne?
Hey, good morning. Kind of touching on those same lines of not having the exhibition, not having a close scrimmage. What has maybe the inter squad stuff looked like, so far this preseason? How often have you been able to get officials in maybe? And just what does the 5-on-5 scrimmaging look like with such a young team? What do you try to get out of that, in practice to try to get them ready as much as possible without outside competition?
Yeah, I mean, that's just part of practice every day. Wayne, we compete in practice every day. There's a winner and loser in every drill we do. So that part of it, it's just what we do. But to get the live action, some inter squad type of situations, game-like situations, we brought some refs in, some local guys. They were great. They really helped us. We also did some scenarios throughout preseason and mixed up teams different ways and trying to find, different groups of 5 out there that can play a certain way at certain times. And we definitely have some different ways we can play with some, with a versatile lineup. So, we did a lot of that, a lot of scenarios, a lot of game-like situations, and we definitely had some scrimmages without a doubt. You're just improvising. You're finding different ways to get game-like situations without a doubt. Something that we'll do today is we're gonna do timeouts today in practice to practice timeouts because we haven't done that yet in game-like atmosphere. So we're gonna practice that today. We've done a mock scouting report. We've all these new faces. They don't know a scouting report to the in-depth approach that we take. So we've done that already, and we're sort of working on a lot of different scenarios that they'll see come Thursday.
What do you look for from the guys in those situations? Is it just like you mentioned, the carryover from the maybe installation periods, or what are you really looking for, particularly for those younger guys when you do go live 5-on-5?
Carryover, not playing on your heels. We still want to be aggressive and confident, but play loose. And we want to have great carryover to what we do, trying to execute at a high level. And then, the biggest thing with a young team, know the time and score, know the situation, and that's that comes from trying to get players that be extension of the coaching staff. And we have some guys that are cerebral basketball players, and we just want to take it to a whole nother level and be an extension of the coaching staff. So a lot of different scenarios like that and approaches like that, but without taking away who they are as basketball players and who we want to be as basketball players.
Mark Davis?
Hey, Coach. Good morning. Thanks a lot for doing this. Wanted to ask about the youth and kind of the expectation that your number might be called in this COVID world, maybe unexpectedly, maybe at the last minute. Have you really preached that to your guys that, hey, you could have, even a bigger role than we thought you would coming into the season? Is that one thing that you guys have, hammered home?
Yeah, but we talk about that all the time, Mark. Like, be ready to step up. Be ready to step up and help the team win. Your role one day could change. And we talk about there's some things in the world going on that we can't always control. We're going to do the best we can to try, but it is what it is. So the next guy's got to be ready. It's just like an injury, right? If someone goes down with a twisted ankle the day before practice, we're not canceling the game. We're going to find a way. And there's no excuses around here. So we talked about that all summer, all fall, and of course preseason. That be ready to step up. And number one, it starts with playing really hard. Number two, being an unbelievable teammate, and whatever is asked of you that moment, be ready to produce and help your team win. It's that simple around here for us. Let's not confuse the guys. Let's not make it worse than it is. Whatever occurs during a week or 24 hours before a game, it is what it is. We're going to listen to our leaders and the people that know best, But if there's a game, we're going to be ready to play, and we're going to fight, and we're going to stick together, and we're going to have a lot of fun trying to go through all this. What else can we do, right? We're not making any excuses.
Well, and I know you guys, it can be like Christmas morning, the day before the first day of the season for you guys. Does it take away? Is it different at all this year, just kind of with the uncertainty, or do you still have that getting shot out of a cannon feeling as you go into Thursday?
Oh, we're excited. The coaches are excited. I mean, since March 12th, we've been waiting. Like I said, we have dates on our calendar circles that we could put on the uniform, and we're getting close to that. I mean, it's like Christmas morning waiting for presents under the tree, right? I mean, everybody's excited, and that's the fun of it. That's why we're here. That these guys, their goal is to play college basketball, and when it's taken away from you, you appreciate it more, but you do get really excited, and there's great anxiety to get to that day so we can play. That's the fun of it. That's why we're all here. That's why everybody, including our fans, are excited to get back to some normalcy of VCU basketball, right?
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you.
Bet.
Wes?
Morning, Coach. Thanks for doing this. I know there's the challenge of just getting to the game, but have you had to go over with your guys, or is there any new protocol when you get into the locker room? Is there a protocol in how you guys have to sit on the floor? Or as you mentioned, like just going over timeouts, are there things we watch in the NBA? Are there things that you guys have to do in college basketball similar to that?
Yeah. Some of it's similar. Seating is going to be spread out, how you have your huddles, putting masks on when you come out of the game and throughout the building. But you know what? Honestly, Wes, we've been doing that stuff here in the BDC. These guys know how I am. If I don't catch them with their mask off, and they're in practice, they're allowed to take their mask off. But when they're not in practice, even in our building, they have their mask on, and I'm over crazy with the sanitizer and washing your hands and preaching to our guys about being COVID smart. So of course we're going to take that to a whole heightened level as we travel. But we're going to continue to do that stuff because it's been working for us, and because of the leadership and the rules that we have, it's worked. So we're going to continue that. But a lot like some of the NBA stuff you saw, and there's going to be a different look to games and things off the court. But we have to do that because that's the right thing to do to keep our guys healthy and safe.
And you also mentioned that you want to keep these guys loose, even though they're young and still learning to play together. We saw Bones be that personality. He is that personality. Who are some of the other guys that you look for on the floor to keep, even when times are tough, to keep that demeanor going?
Yeah, I think Keyshawn Curry and Bones probably are the two that really show their emotions and their energy, and it's a lot of positive juice. As I keep using in the preseason with a young team, if you're juiceless, you're useless. So you got to bring the positive juice every day. And having a young team, sometimes you're not as loud and as emotional, positive emotion, because you're just trying to figure it out and you're trying to take care of your own stuff, which understandable. And I commend our young guys because they care that much. They want to play. But as we moved along, there's more confidence, and they feel more comfortable in their role and their place on the team and all that stuff. So we're getting there. It's not to the level that we want it to be, but it's getting there. But Bones and Keyshawn definitely help with that for sure.
Thank you.
A reminder, guys, and for anybody who joined late, if you do have a question, just type something in the chat and we'll call on you. Sean Robertson.
Hey, good morning, Coach.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, you mentioned about your excitement level about the season, but what are you most excited about for your team this year?
Just watching the growth. Look, everybody knows we're young and people are counting us out. That's fine. I've had a blast coaching these guys this preseason, this fall. I've been really proud of them. I've been coming to work fired up to get with them in the gym again. We're getting better. We're improving. We have some guys that are really stepping up. We have some young guys that are talented. They just got to get thrown in the fire, right? And And some of our older guys have new roles. It's going to take some time as they go through that. But I really like this group. I think we're always going to give ourselves a fighter's chance. The way we play and with some of the guys we have that lead our group, we got some pieces so we can play different ways. So I've been, especially the last couple of weeks, I could see the improvement. We just now need to see the improvement ourselves against somebody else in a different uniform. But everyone's going to go through that. So there's going to be some bumps in the road as we go along. There's going to be great learning, moments for us. But I do like where we're heading. I like how we're building this the right way. We're building this to last the right way. And I like how the guys are such a big part of it and leading by example. So that part of it, I just want to see these guys play against other people. They've been banging their heads since June against each other. I want to see them play somebody else in a different color than black and gold.
You mentioned about that. Let me piggyback off of that. The first 5 minutes of that first game, how important will it be for you, I guess, to kind of keep them even keel and not get too hype and too overly excited with it being the first game?
No, I'm the other way around, man. I want them to be overhyped. I want them to be so excited. They deserve this, right? All these kids throughout the whole country gone through all this since March 12th. And, they look at themselves as college basketball players. I want them to be hyped and excited. And there might be a couple long shots or a bad foul here and there early in the game out of emotion and adrenaline. That's okay. That's okay. I'd rather it that way than be guys being bumped on the log and seeing what happens. So I get it. We want to play the right way, of course. But I want these guys to be really fired up and smiling and bouncing around. And I want them flying around because they're so excited to get in uniform and play with their teammates and their brothers. I hope all of college basketball in the country is like that.
Thanks, Mike.
Wayne had more.
Hey, I was wondering how maybe different has scouting looked this year? Just maybe you obviously had to scramble to kind of redo the schedule this fall, but at the same time, I know you already expected to play, Penn State and Tennessee in Charleston. ODU is a given, and then you knew LSU was coming, but with maybe less time to prepare for some other opponents. What does that look like this offseason?
Well, we know our schedule right now, Wayne. So we're getting games from last year and watching our tape and breaking stuff down. A lot of it to me is making sure we're ready. We want to give the best scouting report we can, but early in the year like this, without, some early tape and all that stuff, you're going to do the best that you can. But, so much of my concentration and my emphasis is on having our team ready to play. But also, you're going to do the best you can with what you have preparing for teams. And, a lot of teams in the country are going to have a game canceled and then within 24 hours pick up another team that may be playing 48 hours. Just figuring out. It's like a tournament, right? You hope you play this team, but you may not. You got to be ready for whatever changes come your way. And so, my biggest thing in scouting is we don't panic. We have our team ready. Honor the other team, respect the other team, but make sure we have our team ready.
So what stands out the most about Charlotte? Is it, the backcourt with Jordan Shepherd and Jameer Young? What really jumps out about them, looking at them?
Yeah, well, definitely their backcourt. Those two guys can definitely go and make plays. We have to guard them at a high level. But I think the way they play as a team, they really spread you out and attack you and attack mistakes that you make. So, even early in the year, we got to be very solid on defense, especially when we get in the half court, and make sure that anything that they make or they earn, especially from those guards, they got to earn it, right? Because they're very talented, and we got to make sure that the pace of the game is our pace, but we try to do that against whoever we play. But, Coach Sanchez has done a great job building that program, and they'll be ready to play against us. And we just got to make sure that, with the group that we have, that we lock into the main points of what we want to do against Charlotte. And one of those things is making sure we can guard their they're very good backcourt.
And one last one for you. Where does the point guard spot stand right now? Also, Ace comes in as a talented freshman. You had Trey back, and we heard, Bones could play more off the ball this year. So, today, a couple days away from the game, what do you expect from that position?
Well, one thing that the first time since I got back here is we have multiple ball handlers, and we can play them together on the court, and I'm really excited about that. It's great when you have different guys can play multiple positions, and Bones will play off the ball at times because the things he can do, shooting the ball and making plays for others as well. But he'll play on the ball too, without a doubt. I'm no dummy when it comes to that. We're going to put the ball in his hands as well. But Ace and Trey Clark, they both can handle the point guard position. Trey had a great end of the year last year, and he's really improved. And then Ace has done a good job coming in here, and he's continuing to work on trying to be an extension of the coaches. And he's a natural point guard, gets guys shots, can get us into stuff, plays at an even keel. But he's going to go through a learning process here early in the year, playing against college guys that are older and more experienced than him. So, but we have options, Wayne, and I think that's huge. And we have multiple guys, and even guys that can play together, that can handle the ball at a high level, and that makes you harder to guard. So we'll definitely use that to our advantage.
Thank you.
Okay, got time for a couple more. Lane.
Hey, Coach, we've seen this with football teams this year, but how much patience are you going to have personally, because it may take you a little longer this year with everything considered to figure out exactly what you have?
Yeah, I won't be patient on how hard we play, but there's going to be a level of patience on sometimes how we go about playing and some of the results. But I think we've improved throughout preseason all the time, which is what you want to get to your first game, to be ready to play. So, it's time to throw the ball up. Our guys are ready to play. They know what they need to do to try to win basketball games. So yeah, there's definitely some patience. I think Lane, the biggest patience is handling some stuff that come your way that we've never had to deal with before, right? You can't get bent out of shape if somebody calls and says we can't play, or we gotta stop, or other teams in our league will stop, and that changes your schedule. That's where you're going to have some patience and understanding, and go with the flow and do the best that you can with what you have. So I think that's the biggest patience as a coaching staff. We all want it to go perfect and be right, but there's a lot of things out of our control right now. So my focus on having our team ready to play, and being ready to get to the Charlotte game on Thursday, because they're so excited to play, like our staff.
Mark Davis.
Coach, you'll be spending Thanksgiving with your players, which, is always exciting, I know, for the beginning of the season tournaments. With that in mind, is there a Mike Rhoades signature dish that, they're pretty, stoked about, that you, serve up sometimes? I mean, are you a turkey guy, a stuffing guy, a cranberry sauce guy? What are you doing?
I'm the staples, man. I'm the staples. My mom has a great recipe for stuffing. Jody and I, since we've been together, have made it every year. So stuffing and turkey and mashed potatoes and cranberry sauce. I'm the staple. I'll tell you, in our family yesterday, we celebrated Thanksgiving yesterday. This will be the first time ever that I won't be with my family for Thanksgiving. They've always made the trip with us if we were on the road, or when we had Thanksgiving off, we were at home. So we celebrated yesterday. So I got some nice leftovers to take to Tennessee. I'm excited about that.
Stretch it out, right?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Mike.
You bet.
All right. Noah Fleischman. And we probably have time for one more after that, if anybody's got one more.
Hey, Coach. Do you have to prepare any differently to open the season playing back-to-back days, rather than, I guess, in a normal time you'd play 8 games before playing 2 close games again?
Yeah, Noah, it's like getting ready for, an MTE, but also getting ready for a conference tournament at the end of the year, back-to-back. So we've worked on a couple different teams coming up early throughout preseason. We always make a list of teams that are what they're good at, and we work on that. Our guys don't even know that at the time because it's more about us and how we defend certain actions. But then when we get to that game, we'll say, hey, guys, we've already worked on this action. This is an action that's a primary action for an opponent. So we do it that way, just planning accordingly throughout preseason and how we guard stuff or playing against a certain defense and all that stuff. Just, Coach Nunley used to say to me all the time, preparation is the mother of victory. Pitmov. And I say that to our staff and our team all the time. You're preparing all the time to give yourself a chance to win. And it could be a Monday in September, or it could be a Thursday morning session workout on Thursday. But all those sessions, all those practices are preparing to help your team win. And so, we're preparing that way. But for back-to-back games, you take care of the first game, and then we'll be ready for the second one. But we have a plan for it without a doubt.